You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Friday, 31st day of January, 2025. My time flies. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first one, that's the live training room. It's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you haven't taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael comes on in a bit, he'll walk you through step by step how to do it. We'll get you indicators indicating today, and you'll have all next week, 5 consecutive trading days, and there's no credit card required. We want you to have a clear head so that you can focus on what's happening, on what you're learning, and then at the end of the 5-day trial, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision if what we do is right for you. So, when that live training room ends each day, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break, and then we come back for the afternoon broadcast, which is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's 2 different ways you can join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way I'll give to you first. Just go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says noon session. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen is going forward, every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. In the email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it'll automatically log you into our platform. The benefit there is it gives you access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Now, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy, can't join live, but want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,700 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a good way to get to know who we really are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to, but it gives you an idea of how we've evolved over the years, from whence we came to where we are right now. youtube.com/CFRN. Our schedule each afternoon, we start with our daily devotional, word of prayer, some news, recap of the alerts, logic and concierge, Then Michael joins us about 50 minutes into the broadcast for a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. Then we do some live trading on the TradingView platform and wrap it all up with our good word for the day. Now, the topic of the devotion that we're ending today: who controls your thoughts? Our scripture is 2 Corinthians 10, verses 3 through 6. I'm going to share it from the Message translation. The world is unprincipled. It's dog eat dog out there. The world doesn't fight fair. But we don't live or fight our battles that way. Never have, never will. The tools of our trade aren't for marketing or manipulation, but they are for demolishing that entire, massively corrupt culture. We use our powerful God tools for smashing warped philosophies, tearing down barriers erected against the truth of God, fitting every loose thought and emotion and impulse into the structure of life shaped by Christ. Our tools are ready at hand for clearing the ground of every obstruction and building lives of obedience into maturity. 2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 6. So, who controls your thoughts? This is day 3 of 3. One reason Satan's strongholds are so powerful is that they become entrenched. This happens when Satan can't get you to buy into the lie that your situation is hopeless. His goal is to get you to believe that by nature you are a drug addict or a manipulator or a negative person, that you are controlled by fear or shame, that nothing will ever change, and on and on and on. Once you give in to and adopt this line of thinking, these fortresses become difficult to remove. Your behavior deteriorates even more, since all of us act according to who we believe we are. The only solution to tear down these fortresses is by taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Reprogram your mind and release yourself from captivity. This is how you unleash your full potential and free yourself up to then help other men rise to do the same. The solution is twofold but straightforward. First, identify Christ's thoughts on a matter, and then second, align your own thinking under the rule of his truth. And then, as it says in John 8:32, the truth will set you free. So something to think about as we end this topic. In what areas of your life do you need to take your thoughts captive? Let's pray. Heavenly Father, though we live in this world, our battles are not of the flesh. Thank you for equipping us with divine weapons to demolish strongholds and every thought that stands against your truth. Help us to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Strengthen us to walk in obedience to you, trusting in your power and your wisdom. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen. And happy Friday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices, as they're called. Okay, right now, the Dow is down 17 points. The NASDAQ is up 225. That's a little over 1%. S&P 500 is up 35, and the Russell 2000 is up 6.5. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 19 cents, trading 72.92 last. Gold up $5.60, trading 28.50.80 last. Silver basically flat on the session, down less than a penny. Oh, it's now officially down a penny, trading 32.48 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 58 points. The Shanghai dropped 2. The Hang Seng gained 27. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 27, DAX down 15, the CAC up 8. So that gave us a mixed day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. And at the moment, it's a mixed Radio Friday here in the US of A. With the Dow, the only major index in the red, and it's only down at the moment by 17 points. So I think we could see it join the rest of the gang. Yeah, it just went to unchanged on the session, so another tick or two, and we'll have all green. So it's kind of been pretty flat and quiet and sideways out there. So those are the numbers. Let's take a look at the news. There's an Ebola outbreak in Uganda. A 32-year-old man died Wednesday from the Sudan strain of the Ebola virus in Uganda's capital of Kampala. More than 40 close contacts of the victim were placed under observation as officials sounded the alarm in the densely populated capital and regional travel hub of more than 4 million people. I've been there, and of course, most of you know that we have some very close ties to Kampala. The strain is one of 4 Ebola viruses that give rise to Ebola virus disease, a hemorrhagic fever transmitted through direct contact with bodily fluids with an average 50% fatality rate. Symptoms begin with fever and a sore throat and can culminate in internal bleeding and organ failure. There is currently no vaccine for the Sudan strain, though some are in development. The East African country has seen at least 8 Ebola outbreaks over the last 3 decades, the deadliest of which came in 2000, when 224 people died. The strain's cousin, the Zaire Ebola virus, claimed more than 11,000 lives in an outbreak in West Africa between 2013 and 2016. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Kampala and also with all the families from this aviation tragedy our country suffered earlier this week. All right, market news. President Trump's self-imposed February 1st deadline for a first round of tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China looms in less than a day as economic observers and world leaders try to plan amid the uncertainty. Yesterday afternoon, Trump reiterated his plans to put a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, repeating his warning against America's two top trade partners. But even then, he added to the uncertainty by saying some provisions remain undecided. We may or may not, Trump said at the White House about whether the tariffs would apply to oil. We're going to make that determination probably tonight. It was the latest in a series of comments and private signals that have offered little clarity and left many in wait-and-see mode. Trump has consistently promised the tariffs are coming, even as comments from his Commerce Secretary pick and a reported search for an 11th hour deal suggest an off-ramp to delay tariffs remain a real possibility. Yet the search for a last-minute deal is expected to go down to the wire. Leaders in Canada and Mexico have expressed confusion and frustration about what they can do, given Trump has cited issues of migration and illegal fentanyl as the rationale for the tariffs, coming as soon as tomorrow. Matthew Holmes of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce weighed in late Thursday yesterday, calling any tariffs lose-lose. We will keep working with partners to show President Trump and Americans that this doesn't make life any more affordable. It makes life more expensive and sends our integrated businesses scrambling. The uncertainty could already be weighing on business decisions, according to Charles Schwab's Kevin Gordon, citing the effects of last weekend's 10-hour trade war with Colombia that ended as quickly as it began. That nature of policymaking is what causes companies to make a step back and halt their spending, he said during a live conversation on Yahoo Finance. Well, we're about to enter a new world. And many are going kicking and screaming, there's no doubt. A fresh reading from the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge showed prices remained sticky in the final month of 2024, a new data point that likely reinforces a current wait-and-see approach to interest rates. The core personal consumption expenditures, also known as the PCE index, which strips out food and energy costs, rose 2.8% over the prior year during the month of December, stuck at the same year-over-year level recorded in November. On a month-over-month basis, core PCE rose 0.2% faster than the 0.1% seen in November. The annual and monthly figures were in line with Wall Street expectations. The new sign that inflation isn't making dramatic movements up or down comes after the Fed this week decided to keep rates on hold, its first pause following 3 consecutive cuts at the end of 2024. Walgreens. Walgreens Boots Alliance tumbled Friday after suspending the quarterly dividend it's paid for the past 92 years in a bid to conserve cash and revive the business. Shares dropped 15% at 9:31 a.m. in New York, the biggest intraday drop since June of 2024. Shares had gained 23% this year through the January 30 close after sinking 64% in 2024. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard it called the Walgreens Boots Alliance. Before, we've always just called it Walgreens, and Walgreens always said that every American should be within 5 miles of a Walgreens, and I've got, or had, 3, I think, within 5 miles. But one recently closed. It's an empty building on a big commercial corner, and it's for sale. The troubled pharmacy chain said the decision stemmed from a need to strengthen its balance sheet by reducing debt and improving free cash flow. Cash needs over the next several years include litigation and debt financing. Were also presented important considerations, according to Walgreens' statement issued yesterday. Wall Street had cut its quarterly dividend payout almost in half in early 2024 to 25 cents a share. Suspending the dividend is prudent and somewhat overdue, according to an analyst in one of his research notes. The move will aid turnabout efforts, even though it will cause some shareholders to offload the stock in the near term. Yeah, as Amazon begins to compete with all pharmacies, Walgreens may just be the first to fall. Hasn't failed yet, but they're certainly restructuring. From Bloomberg, oil fluctuated as U.S. President Donald Trump barreled toward imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico, but kept traders guessing on whether crude will be exempted from the levies. West Texas Intermediate hovered below 73 a barrel after changing direction multiple times. Trump reiterated plans yesterday to impose 25% levies on goods from the two U.S. neighbors, while he flagged an imminent decision on whether crude would be included. As I mentioned earlier, no specific details have yet emerged. Well, stocks sank due to DeepSeek earlier in the week, but now stocks are ending a wild week on a positive note after solid forecasts from tech heavyweights eased concern about the outlook for the industry that has powered this bull market. A relative sense of calm prevailed just a few days after the market was hit by jitters that a cheap artificial intelligence model from Chinese startup DeepSeek could make valuations of the booming technology tough to justify. The S&P 500 wiped out its weekly losses, and the Nasdaq 100 rose almost 1.5% as Apple gave a reassuring forecast. Meta Platforms was set for its longest winning run since 2015. Nvidia Corp's chief was set to meet with President Donald Trump today. With 4 of the Magnificent Seven's earnings behind us, investors may be sighing with relief that neither DeepSeek angst nor serious signs of a slowdown in overall demand emerged. The implications for tech earnings are profound, with hundreds of billions of dollars in capital spending deployed, but profits still largely elusive. ramifications are also immense for a stock market that spent the better part of 2 years rallying almost solely on the promise of AI. And last, gold hit another record high, with investors flocking to safe havens after President Trump threatened to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Bullion topped $2,800 for the first time today. The surge came after Trump said he would follow through on imposing 25% levies on imports from Canada and Mexico on February the 1st. He also threatened China with measures without specifying a level. The precious metal, on track for its 5th consecutive weekly gain, has benefited from haven demand as Trump's tariffs spur fears of trade wars that could sap economic growth. There are also worries that his pledges to cut taxes and overhaul immigration may erode U.S. finances and reignite inflation. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Wednesday, Fed Day, that the U.S. Central Bank was in a wait-and-see mode with regard to the potential impact of the new administration's policies. And as we all know, the FOMC left interest rates unchanged this week as expected after cuts at each of the 3 previous meetings since September, and indicated that stalled progress toward lower inflation warranted a patient approach. So we may not see another cut for a while, or so it seems. All right, let's take a look at the local news. Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. Not just E-minis, also crude, gold, silver, bonds. We're currently in week 339. Over the last 339 weeks, we've issued over 18,900 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now this week, it was a light week. Normally, we'll have somewhere between 50 and 75 alerts on the week. But after that huge gap down spooked the markets Sunday night and then into Monday morning and all day Monday, the opportunities were just not as obvious as they often are. So for the week, now Valerie did the recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. If there's any changes, she'll update it this afternoon. So for the week, 26 total alerts issued, 1 never triggered, still waiting on the outcome of 2. 23 actionable alerts, of which 4 or 17% would have been stopped out. Again, based on market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, the real purpose of the logic alerts is to help you to learn to read a chart. You might think, oh, I know how to read a chart. Price goes up, price goes down. Yeah, there's a little more to it than that. Price flows across all markets the same. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. So each logic alert, whether you trade it or not, it's an opportunity to learn. Simply pull up your 30-minute chart, draw a horizontal line at the entry price of the alert, Another horizontal line at the initial target. That's designed to help you get your goal for the day. And then horizontal lines at any additional targets. And then there's a final trade to target, which if it's a long, it'll be the weekly trading zone above. If it's a short, it'll be the weekly zone below. The purpose of this is so that you're able to look at any market, any time frame. It could be future stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. You can look at any market, and along with our humble set of indicators, instinctively know what the next high probability move is. The second you look at the chart, you immediately can spot where the next major potential resistance is and the next major potential support. Once you're able to identify the areas of resistance and support, then you are able to determine where there is a window of opportunity where you can trade without interruption. Remember, you're just trying to get your goal for the day, and you have to stay focused on the bigger picture. So for an odd week, not so unhappy. Just remember, if you're going to trade them, that's fine, okay. But do the exercise, okay? Do the work, draw the lines, because you don't want to be dependent. If you're going to trade for a living, you don't want to be dependent on somebody else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. You want to be able to look at a chart and with confidence understand and know when you should get in and when you should get out. All right. Now, 339 weeks, that's a very long time. Long before we had Logic 247, though, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, and they're a little bit different. The Logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. But the CTAs don't come out around the clock. They are published as a static report shortly after the Globex Open each evening. Last night was the first time I ever published them at 5. Yeah, one too many fives in there. But we did get them out 5 minutes before the Globex Open. I try to do that each and every day. Some days life gets in the way. I'm not able to. I try to communicate that in the discussion group if they're going to come out ahead of the Open or shortly after. For many years, it was after the Open. Just been toying with this before the Open now for probably a month and a half. If you're a member or trial member, be sure to read this information up here. Make sure you understand it, okay? If you don't, ask, and it shall be answered. So what this means is last night, all of our members, all of our trial members, had all of these targets 5 minutes ahead of the Globex Open, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. Bond, silver, gold, NQ, crude oil, the Russell, the Dow, and the ES. And when we get to gold, we'll roll that to the J contract. I should have done that a couple days ago, but I didn't, and so I will. Let's go look at what have on the day so far. Okay. This little circle I drew in here yesterday, area of potential resistance. It looks like we might trade through it. Market very bullish today. We had a gap higher open last night. We've traded through the 62% fib extension. And blue and climbing is directly above. Well, price is actually traded above blue and climbing. When blue and climbing is directly above price, it can often become resistance. Just like when price pulls back to the BBC, you expect support until proven otherwise. So, our next major obstacle from this point will be the high put in on January 24th at 61.62 and a quarter. Okay. And then there's 61.73 half, and then there's the all-time historic high, 61.78.75 put in on December 6th. I encourage everyone, whether you trade futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, whatever, spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of what you're about to trade. Why? Because institutions look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. It has everything to do with account size. These institutions have huge accounts in the hundreds of millions, billions, trillions of dollars, and they trade in tremendous size. That moves price. They look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. So by looking at that daily chart before you get started trading, you're doing two things. Number one, you're getting a look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that actually move price. And number two, you're able to identify major areas of support and resistance that you can't see on your smaller time frame. If you're on a 30-minute chart or a range chart right now, you won't have this very important information that 61.62 is probably going to be pretty good resistance, because that high was put in last Friday. This was the Sunday night gap lower open, which has now officially been closed. If we stall out here, then we're going to have a high, a lower high, a lower high. So how we close today really is important. We've already had our bounce off the BBC. The green line's called the BBC, stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish, expecting higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish, expecting lower prices. The pullback to the BBC, whether it's from below or above, holds more often than it doesn't. Now, markets are fractal in nature, and so is the BBC. You can put it on a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart, a 30-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, a tick chart, a range chart. Just remember that the results you get, the information you glean, is relative to the time frame. In other words, if you put it on a 1-minute chart, don't be looking for daily type results, and vice versa. Okay. All right. All the alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes, just the time frame I chose years ago, and well, here it is. The vertical lines separate today, Friday, from Thursday, from Wednesday. And these horizontal lines are the weekly trading zones, which are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern for the last 15 years. as of last month. This was the opening candle last night. Now remember, everyone had the targets 5 minutes ahead of the open, and we made a mad dash up to the target. Resistance sends the market looking for support, which it found right here. This is support times 2, the step line and the BBC. Support will send the market looking for resistance, which it found at the weekly zone. When price rallies up to a weekly zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. So after hitting resistance at the zone, we consolidated right along this target for a few hours. Then we finally broke above the zone at 61.17/18. We got a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. Again, you can see the pullback held, even though we spiked the BBC and actually touched the weekly zone on both of those candles, the pullback held. And that sent us right up to the next weekly zone where we found resistance. Now this candle, it was green, heading for that next zone until it reversed and left a wick sticking above it, and we actually closed back below the zone. And so that resistance sent us one more time looking for support, which we found at the BBC. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And now we're up against resistance at the weekly zone. Now the high of this candle was 61.45 47.75. The next zone is at 52. And again, these are the zones that were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. On the Dow, this was the open last night. Got support below us, the BBC, resistance overhead, red and falling. We dropped to the BBC and the pullback held, sent us into red and falling and into some real tight consolidation. Red and falling turned to blue and climbing pretty quickly, sent us up to the target. We got a retracement, and then we got another leg. We made it up to 45.227. Then the step line crossed from the left side to the right side of blue and climbing. When that happens, we anticipate a retracement to the BBC. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. We just call it the BBC, bull bear cross. But with red and falling overhead like this, even though the pullback holds more often than it doesn't, we know eventually it will trade through. And when you've got red and falling overhead, that's an indication that this may be one of the moves where in fact it does pull through. And it did. Traded right through it, hit the short target to the tick. The short target was based off of this bullish cross right here. When you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. This is a picture-perfect example. And again, everyone had the targets 5 minutes before the open last night. Does it happen 100% of the time? No. Does it happen more often than not? Yeah. On the Russell, here's where we opened. We're below the BBC, but we keep getting support at the zone. Support. We did spike down, and we almost touched the target. The low was 2308.6, so we came within 6 ticks of hitting the target. That bounced us up. Red and falling turned to blue and climbing. We hit the zone overhead at 2318/19. That's resistance, which sends us back to support at 2312/13. The low here was 2312.5, right in the middle of the zone. Support sends us looking for resistance. So we consolidated for 2 candles right here at the zone, and then boom, right up to the target, pretty much to the tick. Resistance will send the market looking for support. We held for 1 candle here at the BBC, and then we traded through. Again, the pullback holds more often than not, but eventually it will trade through, and there it is, trading through. We found support at the zone. That sent us all the way back up through everything to the long target again. We've now, after another retracement, support at the zone. We're now overcoming this zone. So you want to look to yesterday's high, which was 2332. We've already taken it out by 7 ticks, but this candle hasn't closed and the session hasn't closed. So it's where you close at the end of the day that's really important. Now the NQ, something happened with my charts last night. It did not print. I've reset it. I lost some data in here. So it appears that we gapped above the long target, but this is the 2100 hours candle, like 9 p.m. last night. So I'm missing data in there. But currently we're consolidating at a weekly zone. When price encounters a weekly zone, 70% of the time you get consolidation, 20% of the time you get rejection, 10% of the time you get the slice. That's when price on the 30-minute chart slices through a zone like it's not even there. When that happens, typically, as the move runs out of steam, it will retrace back to the zone it sliced through, then continue in the direction of the slice. So here we are consolidating. Crude oil. Okay, this was the open last night, the opening candle. And we pulled back to the BBC. We didn't quite touch it, but that support sent us to resistance. You hit the zone to the tick pretty much. Resistance will send the market looking for support. So we got down to the short target. And this low right here, as you can see, lines right up with these lows right here from yesterday. But then we took out yesterday's low. And if you scroll back, you'll find what you're looking for. Support sends us to resistance. And now we're back below the BBC. We're just off the low of the session. The low of the session is 71.94. And we're currently at 72.05. So this could become just a double bottom, or we could continue lower. Everything's in place to continue lower. So we could see, and this would be the lowest weekly zone this week for crude. Okay, you can see now why gold has to be rolled. It should have already been rolled. So let's just do it now. It's J, right? Yep. Yeah. Remember, gold put in a new all-time historic high today, and we opened last night way above what I had published as the long target, because I had not rolled to the J contract at the time I scheduled the CTAs. So the all-time historic high came in right out of weekly trading zone, 2862/63. In fact, that's the highest zone for the week. Resistance sends the market looking for support, and this is an important price, important area, and we spiked it a little bit, but interesting how that candle came down right to it, even though it was the wrong contract, and caught a bounce. Now we've spiked it a little bit and caught a bounce. Market structure. Silver. Here's where we opened last night. We just barely took out yesterday's high. Right here. Yesterday's high was 32.80. And we got to 32.85. So whenever we take out a previous high or a low by just a little bit, we're skeptical until the market proves itself. So we come back to the VBC, pull back holds more often than not. So we get another leg to the upside, which does clearly take out yesterday's high, but look how the 30-minute candle closed. It closed back right off that high right there. Okay. Blue and climbing, then turned to red and falling, and then it's just kind of been a meltdown to the short target, which we hit to the tick. Now that target is based off right here. The step line after crossing and price not retracing to the BBC. When it crossed back in the other direction, that made that a very important price, important area. And you can see price bounced off of it right there. Now we do have the perfect stack right here. Price, step line, red and falling, the BBC. So based on that, even though we're printing a green candle at the moment, I think there is the potential that we could trade through this short target and perhaps close the week out somewhere around this weekly zone. And on the daily chart, still struggling with overcoming blue and climbing. If we do, remember the next obstacle is right there. Okay. All right, Michael should be here in a minute. Give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. To become a member, send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, put "I want to become a member." In the body of the email, put your name, your phone number. We're not going to call you, but we are going to email you all the information you need to become a member. Sounds like Michael's here.
I am.
Okay, he's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. And then we'll do some live trading on the TradingView platform. Then I'll come back and we'll wrap things up with our good word for the day.
Excellent.
Looks good.
All right, here we go. Happy Friday, everyone. Last day of January 2025. All right, so as I was just saying, today is Friday, the 31st day. The 31st day of January 2025. If you have not taken a free trial, let's go ahead to mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button right here. There is no credit card required for the trial. Click that and you will be brought to this registration page right here, where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down at the bottom, if you have a NinjaTrader, give us your machine ID. Now, the latest version of NinjaTrader, it used to be, it was the 5th line down under the Help About menu, but on the newest version, it's the 2nd line down under the Help and About menu. Give us your machine ID, and we'll be able to set you up with the charts that we have for NinjaTrader. If you're not going to use the Ninja charts, then we don't need that machine ID, so you can skip that part. Okay. You do need to get TradingView. If you're going to use our indicators, you need to get TradingView. If you're going to do what we're doing in the room, you need to get TradingView. If you're going to do something else, I mean, I know there's guys out there that are using NinjaTrader that are not doing what we're doing in the room, but these indicators down here are only available on TradingView. They're not available on NinjaTrader. So, yeah, so let's get into the results, okay? Today, we had a rough day of it today. I had 2 trades at the end that would have put us up even higher. I had a 20 tick win on the Russell, so that would have put this at 42, and I had a 10 tick win on this. That would put that at 20. So we would have been up 267.50, but as it was, when I officially wrapped it up for the morning session, this is where we were. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosure down at the bottom. Today we made 4 ticks on the NQ, 22 ticks on the Russell, 10 ticks on the gold, and we lost 13 on the ES. That 13 on the ES is what killed us. We're up only $67.50 today after being up over several thousands of dollars all month long, with our average being $1,603 per contract per day. We're up 67 bucks today. Today it took 82 minutes and 19 trades. Again, the anomalies right here just jumping out at you. 82 minutes and 19 trades to get to $1,975. That's what we were at when we got the goal for the day with 10 contracts on. So you can see I traded another, well, it was 19. I didn't trade that many more times. I only traded 4 more times, and I actually lost money in the 4 more times. We went from 1975 down to 675 in the 4 more trades that I took. So if you quit trading when you get your goal for the day, put the mouse away. So on the month, we're going to finish off the month of January with $32,072. That's with 1 contract. That's still an incredible month. Even though we ended it on a little bit of a down note there, still an incredible month. So over 20 business days, averaging $1,603 per contract for 2-hour business day. Now our hourly rate went down quite a bit since Wednesday. Wednesday, it was about twice as much. But when you have a couple of days like that, that brings the hourly rate down a little bit. For the whole month of January, we traded 3.43 hours getting the goal for the day. And we managed to make $3,770 with 1 contract in that period. $3,770 with 1 contract in 3.43 hours. That is pretty darn good money, I think. Averaging $1,098 per hour. Now, let's get into what we did do, didn't do, missed, didn't miss, and all that stuff. I don't remember if there's a lot that we missed today, but I know the markets were they were all over the place. We started out with gold. We had a break even there. Now, did we miss anything? Let's just go through here. Did we miss anything that would have made us some more money? We missed a stop out right there. We missed that would have been a break even trade right there. That would have been a stop out. That right there would have been, well, we got a break even on that. This one right here, we got a break even on. This one over here we missed. That would have given us some profit, a little bit, probably a break even. That one we got some profit on. On that one, we picked up 10 ticks. Then we got 5 more on that one to get us 15. Then let's see, going through here, we missed one right here that would have stopped out. We missed one right here that would have gotten it back. We missed one right here that would have gotten it back. One here that would have gotten it back. One here that would have gotten it back. So profit, profit, profit. Profit, 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 profit. 4 trades in a row after the stop out one. Profit on that, 5 trades in a row. This one right here would have stopped out. It would never gotten back to break even on that bar. And this one right here would have, if you entered on the open of this bar, you had a 15 tick stop. It wouldn't have stopped you out. It would have been off. You'd have missed the stop by 2 ticks, so that would end up being profit. And that profit, that profit. This is all during the break right here. That one went all the way up and came all the way back down. So that would have gotten you a chance to take some profit. That would have been profitable. That would have been profitable. So the gold, it seemed to come together after the room was done. Everything seemed to come together pretty well here on the gold. But we ended up with plus 10 ticks on the gold. If you count that last one that we got at the end, at the very end, we took a trade somewhere right in here at the very end. I think it was this one right here. We got 10 ticks in profit on that one right at the very end. I didn't count that in the totals. But maybe I will later. Anyway, on the Russell, We ended the Russell with the same type of trade right here at 11:30. We were long on the Russell right in here, and we ended up taking 20 ticks profit on that. But I didn't count that in the total. During the break, there weren't so many trades, though. There was one right here that would have been a nice profitable trade, one right here that would have been a nice profitable trade, and that was it for the Russell. Now, the way it started out for us, we went long on the Russell here. Our first trade, we picked up 5 ticks. Then we picked up 2 more ticks to get us to +7. Then I made a mistake and stopped out -25. That put us at -18. Then we went from -18 to +2, and then went from +2 to +22, and then we went from +22 to +33, and then went 33 to 43, and there was one more for 26 at the end to get us up to 63. What did I have in there for the Russell at the end? Did I show 43 on that? No, I don't. I showed 22. Why do I show 22 on that? It should actually be 43. Okay, so we had a better day than that. That should be 43, and it should actually be 63. So the day wasn't that bad. It was 172.50. It still was our worst day of the month, but it wasn't that bad. I don't know why I had 22 down there. I guess I never updated it for those last few trades. We went from 22 to 33 to 43 to 63. Anyway, let's get back in here. I didn't add these 2 trades onto that, and I didn't add that final one here. I still didn't add the final one, but I did add those 2 because those were done. And that was it for the Russell. Okay, so we had a pretty good day on the Russell. We ended up with 43 on the Russell. Yes. Well, we'll just take a look at it. Here it is. We only had a few trades on the ES today. We had a stop out to start out the day. That was -10. Then we had a break even and a +7 to get us to -3. Then we stopped out again to get us to -13. And we had a break even. Sure, I missed something in here probably, right? There's a trade right here that I missed. That looks like it probably would have stopped us out if I'd have gotten it. A trade right in here that I missed. That would probably have been a break even. Trade right there that I got. Trade right here that I got. Trade right here that I missed. That, oh no, I didn't miss that. I got a break even on that. Trade right here that I missed. That would have been profitable. Trade here would have been profitable. Trade all the way over here would have been profitable. Here would have been profitable. This is during the breakup. That wasn't actually a trade, sorry. This is during the break now. And during the break, there weren't that many trades. It was one right here, had a deep pullback. That probably would have stopped out. Right here, this had a deep pullback and eventually gave profit. And it followed up with the trade right here. That would have given profit again after a deep pullback. This one just started to run as soon as it entered, and all the way over here, you would have shorted at the top of that bar. That would have given you 6 or 8 ticks in profit. And that was it for the ES. We ended the ES with -13 ticks in the NQ. We didn't have a ton of trades anywhere, really. We had more trades on gold, it looks like, than anything else, but the NQ, we didn't have a ton of trades. We started out on the NQ with a stop out right here, and then we just didn't get a bunch of trades. You know, the whole morning session is from right here to right here. There weren't that many trades that triggered in there today. I was told that the 31 range, if we had gone down to the 31 range, had some pretty good trades in it today. But alas, I did not do that. I stuck with the 50 today. Levi, would it be smart to just use the diamond principle? Was this my best month ever? No, it was almost. My best month ever was 34,000 something dollars. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes, okay? And the diamond principle, that works well in a nice trending market, okay? What you're looking for, what the diamond principle does is it projects where the trend is going to take you, okay? So the reason it's a diamond principle is it goes down like that and back up like that, and then it basically repeats that just on the other side, like that. That's why I call it the diamond principle, okay? Because it's shaped like a diamond. But this actually gets shifted over, okay? Gets shifted over like this. That extends up like that. This right here should be twice this length, and this right here should be twice this length. Okay, so your time element is this piece right here. I'm trying to draw one of those things. Yeah, that's your time element right there. And your price element is this piece right here. That piece. So they should repeat. In the trending market, they should repeat. All right. That's what the diamond principle is about. Okay. And if you learn that at your age, then that will give you a great step in trading if you continue to do so. Now, Kyle's passing it down into the family. All right, so right here, we stopped out on our first NQ trade. We're minus 60 ticks on that. It took a few minutes to recover from that, right? Because we did that at 954, 956. And we had a break even on that trade. Then we took that one, 24 ticks profit on that one. And then 36 ticks profit on that one to get us back to 0. And then a whopping 4 ticks profit on that one to get us to +4. Now, in there, I think there were some more trades that triggered, weren't there? More trades that triggered in there? Not really. There just weren't a ton of trades here on the 50 range today. During the break, there was one right here, a nice one on the 50 range. Another nice one right here on the 50 range. One right here on the 50 range. That would have been a break-even trade because your entry would have been right here, and it went about 30 ticks into profit right there before it pulled back up. This would have been a profitable trade. Roughly the same thing. Well, if you entered right here, it never pulled back enough to stop you out, but it ran up here, so it probably would have been a break-even trade or a little bit of profit on that run up because that went about 40 ticks up. And then there was one more right over here. It would have shorted right here. That would have been a nice profitable trade. Okay, but it wasn't easy trading the NQ today. It wasn't easy trading anything today. My results are a little better now that I bumped that up to what it should be. It should have been 43. I went from 5 to 7 to minus 18 to plus 22. I'm sorry, minus 18 to plus 2 to plus 22 to plus 33 to plus 43. And then you throw on an extra 20 ticks at the end, plus 63. So if you throw on that extra 20 ticks at the end, this was 63 and this was 20. So still worst day of the month, but either way, it was positive. That should be 43. So that's how we ended the day today, right? So far, the day's not over. I still got a lot to do today, but that's how we ended the morning session today. $32,177. So Levi, my best month is back here. I'll show you. 2022 was crazy when I know you were even younger back then, but 2022 was crazy when Russia went into Ukraine. It caused a whole world of upset, literally. And this right here, right there, that was our best month. That is one contract. And in that month, we made $4,800 with the NQ. Made $11,000 with what market was that? Crude oil. Made $11,000 trading crude oil that month. $10,000 trading the ES. The NQ was our almost our lowest one that month. But the crude oil and the ES were all over the place that month. So we were able to take advantage of that month. And now it's mostly the NQ now that we make the money on. It just gives more opportunity. It's the NQ, then the ES, and then the other ones fall into place. Sometimes they go back and forth with the ES, but usually it's the NQ and ES on a monthly basis. Do you have access to the spreadsheet, right? Here, I'll give it to you right now. Anybody wants access to the spreadsheet, just click this link and do copy link, and I will paste it out here. I think you guys can copy and paste that there. It doesn't give you an actual link, but I'll paste it in the other one too. You can have a link to it from there. Okay. But this is how we're going to end January this year. $32,177.50. That is our second best month ever. And we didn't trade any crude oil. I thought we did trade. Oh, there was one day that we did trade crude. It was on the inauguration day, but I didn't add that into this. The inauguration day, that was on the 9th. And I didn't add that in. I think we made money on that day on the crude, but I didn't add that in. Yeah, the only markets, the indexes weren't open on that day. So we traded crude oil, copper, natural for gas, and it's one other thing I thought we traded that day. Anyway, this is where we stand on the month so far, and on the year. Right, on the month and on the year. And that's a great start to the year, into the year of 2025. It's going to be a record year. I'm telling you, it's going to be. It's going to be. It's happening this year. It's on. So let's get into the trading now. Okay. Now I was told the 31 range had some better trades today, so I'm going to flip the NQ down to the 31 range. Now, when I do that, what that means is your bracket needs to change. All right. The way that I have this set up, it doesn't matter what market it is. When you change the range bar size, you have to change the bracket according to these parameters. These are my parameters, but according to these parameters, so I'm going down to 31. So my stop is 36 ticks, and my target goes to 48 ticks. So right now it's 60 by 75. So I go down here and I change this to a 36, and this to a 48, and this to a 36, and this to a 48. And now my bracket is set for a 31 range. Right? I changed it from a 50 to a 31 range. I have a 36 tick stop. Goes to break even after 16 ticks, or 4 points instead of 5, with a 48 tick target. All right. That's it. So now we'll probably have some more opportunity here on the NQ during the next 17 minutes. Hopefully we'll get something there on the NQ. The S right now is pretty close to giving us a trade, and it's in some nice chop right here. So hopefully we're going to get that trade on the S. We missed 2 while I was talking. There was 1 right here. It's a nice trade. 1 right here. That was a nice trade. And it's about to give us 1 on the other side. Chop is good. Whoever thought that? Who would have thought you'd ever hear those words coming out of my mouth? This is like a slow grind down right here. What's happening with the NQ? It did actually have from right here. I had a long trade from right here at 1075. 1075. Now, if it went from 1075 up to 1475, and it did, then it's too late to get into it because it's already gone to the point where you would have moved your stop to break even. Okay. Gold over here on this bar right here. The blue was down before the black. So you could have gone long on the gold in that case, but we're just going to leave that alone. All right. If anybody is in here right now who wasn't in the morning session, who wasn't in the partners meeting last night, this is not DT Pro. This is Sierra. So with the help of some of the other partners, I was able to get Sierra charts looking a lot like the DT Pro. This is Sierra ES, and this is DT Pro ES. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using after today. This is DT Pro's last stand right now. This is it. This is the end of it. But I was able to get the Sierra charts looking a lot like it, and it performs just like it, and the mouse clicks are all the same. So it's going to be a pretty smooth transition, I hope. Okay. If you guys decide you want to do Sierra, I made a video about it last night, how to use Sierra charts, how to get, how to do the whole thing from start to finish on Sierra. I made a video about that last night. Okay. And I can give you that. I put it on YouTube, so you can go out to YouTube and watch it there. You don't have to have Telegram to go watch it. If anybody wants it, you just gotta let me know. Okay. And if you're using CQG, is the end card in that video. I put the end card in that video is a link to the CQG video, the CQG thing we did last week in the partners meeting. Okay, so the last 2 partners meetings have been all about the different platforms. If I bring it up, I'll show you. I know I stuck it out here. I sent it to Burr last night. Here it is, Telegram. Okay, so this is the Sierra chart thing right here. Sierra chart installation for StoneX users. Here it is. And if you play it and you go all the way to the end, not the very end, but like right there, there's the the thing to the CQG if you want to watch that. Okay, it comes on at like 12:25 in the thing. All right. So if any of you guys want either one of those, they're both on YouTube, and you can grab them there. There's a short here on the gold right now, and there's about to be a short here on the NQ. It's about to be a long here on the ES. So those are the trades that are triggering right now. There's the gold. Okay, Levi here. Let me copy this link. Copy link. I'll put it right in here. Okay, the Sierra charts is not free. The Sierra charts cost $50 a month. I did leave out that one part, how to actually get to put the money in the service back to. I wish I could add on to the end of that thing, but I guess I can add a part 2. I could add on to it. I could put another different end thing on there, a separate end thing on there. That's what I can do. Again, yeah, I just thought of that. That's a good idea. Oh, sorry, the gold is starting to work here. I'm not even focused on that. We're going to lock in 10 ticks on the gold, 12 ticks on the gold, 14 ticks on the gold, 16 on the gold, 20 on the gold. That's $2,000 right there. $2,000. We'll get those numbers back up. So all I did was sell. When it got up into the overbought, I sold the open of that bar right there. That's all I did. Okay, simple as that. Let's see, nothing. All right. Yeah, so the thing about the Sierra, setting this up to be like this, there are like 100 different settings you have to go through and click individually for each one. You can't copy the template to the next one. Well, I haven't found a way to do that. I wish you could, but I haven't found a way to do that. But so what I've done is what's happening with the markets right here? What I've done is I've created a way for you guys just to take the not the workspace, but the chart book, copy the chart book and all the files and all the brackets and all the stuff that I've created. There's a short here on gold I just took. Hang on, here it is. Okay, stop is at break even. Cancel that. We ended up with a break even on the gold short. So the markets are jumping right here. Let's see if we get a trade. We don't have anything there. We don't have anything here. We don't have anything here. We just took the short over there, and that turned into a long that I missed. All right, so let me focus on the markets here pretty quick. We have 10 minutes left in here, and it looks like we might get a trade. We might get a trade or two in here. The ES has a long right here. Right. The NQ kind of had a long there a second ago. I didn't get the NQ trade, but I'm in the ES trade. And I'm going to hit break even on this right now. Stop is at break even on that. And now I'm going to lock in just a couple of ticks on that. And now I'm going to lock in a couple of points on that. And now 3 points, 12 ticks. Did you see that? That was the Sierra Dawn that I just did that with. How's that for a transition? Yes, I did, Bar. I sent you everything you asked for last night after the meeting. Before I met with Valerie after the meeting, I sent you everything you asked for. I haven't looked at that other thing yet, though, that you asked me about this morning. All right, the NQ's got a short right in here. Okay, here that is. Stop's gonna go to break even after 5 points in profit. 5 points in profit, there it is. Stop to break even on the NQ. Gonna lock in 1 point on the NQ. And we're out to 1 point on the NQ. Okay, the ES has got a short in here. Okay, here's the ES short. Now that stop's going to break even. And I'm out with a break even on that one. And the gold had the short in there. Exactly the gold. remember. I don't have it on right now, I know that, but I had a short right in here a minute ago. A beautiful short. So Bart, I don't know if you're still listening right now, but the thing you asked for last night, Bert's Old School, I sent it to you, but you have to have, I'm not sure that you do have, but to use Bert's Old School layout, this one, you need to have the old slingshot down here, and you need to have the price panel up here. Okay. That looks different, doesn't it? That's what it looked like 15 years ago. Oh, great, Levi. Well, it's solid. You know, the principle is solid. And I coined that term. I made that up, the whole thing. The principle, I don't know if I made that up altogether, the idea, but I gave it a name. Yeah, I gotta make sure I patent and copyright everything I do. People are starting to rip me off lately. Dwayne used to say that. What was it? Something about flattery. I don't know, whatever. It's the biggest one. Yeah. That's what it was. That's what you used to say. I knew there was something you used to say. You had some, and it's just kind of pissing me off. Sorry, it's kind of making me angry that they're doing it in a nefarious way. It's one thing to do it in a good way, but somebody's using it to scam people, and that's not good. Doesn't reflect well on anyone. There's a short here on the yes. Here it is. Stop to break even on that. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't get filled on that short. Let me take that off. All right, I didn't get filled on that short. There was a short there, and I went to go to break even, but I hadn't gotten filled. I didn't realize I hadn't filled. Now there's a long. Okay, and I did fill on. So we're either going to stop out or I'm going to bump the stop to break even. So to go to break even, I right click and I just hit move stop to break even. It's kind of like having a break even button. I think it's going to stop me out. Yep. What happened? Why are the markets doing this? I don't see anything coming across. There goes the ES. That's what I was looking for on the ES. Stop me out first, but then it went up like shit. The gold's got a trade, and I just went to break even on it. Okay, there it is, break even. This is a trade here, and this was a trade here. I didn't do either one of those. The Russell's about to give us a short trade if he gets up into the overbought. You see how we have a trend right here? When it's got a trend like that, then you're more likely to get the flat spots like that. So if you're in a trend like that, the pullbacks are the ones that are more likely to give you the big pushback down and to not have a flat spot, right? When you're in a trend, like right there on the NQ. Okay, right here on the NQ. Because we're in a trend, it should repeat that leg. Now, this kind of a trend where the leg is really big, it should do a 50% retracement of that leg, so it should go up to like right here. That makes it a little harder to take the trade going down. And what I was telling everybody this morning, if you employ the There's a trade here on the ES. If you employ the the YBR, then you're looking for trend trades, and in that case, you have to take into account, everything you know about price action. If this is a leg length down, the retracement should be 50%, and that's what happened right there. So if you get a signal before it's 50% retracement, then there's a good chance that signal is not going to go down at the time you think it's going to go down, at the time you want it to go down. It'll probably go down afterward, like this one probably will right here. But all the things that we've ever said still apply. It's just now you have better entry almost all the time. Should I'm on this one and not this one. Why I did that? I don't know. Anyway, yes, I can finally go to break even on it. Good a second ago. There, now I can go to break even on it. There it is. All right, we'll lock in 4 on it. And we're out with 4. And yes, actually has a long trade right here. Again, this is going against the YBR. So if you're doing the YBR trade, you're employing the YBR, then you're not going to take this, all right? Because the YBR is saying only take short trades, not long trades.
Thomas over on YouTube said that there's a White House press conference going on.
Oh, is there? Okay. Well, thank you, Thomas, over on YouTube. Is it Thomas N on YouTube?
It is.
It is. Okay. Thank you, Thomas N. Thomas N has finished up his last day of the trial today. So it's good stuff. The gold is finally moving down from back here. All right, well, it's still moving down from back there is what I should say. Still moving down. That doesn't make sense. I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Anyway. All right, I didn't realize we've run out of time. There's going to be one more trade here. There's going to be one more trade here, and there is a trade here on the Russell. So that's the way it is right now. That does not seem to be right. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now it's registering. All right. Well, I am going to wrap it up for the morning, for the afternoon, I guess. So if you, well, first let me go here. If you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to mytradingiq.com. And that meeting with Don is Dwayne. Go to mytradingiq.com, click the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on that purple button, and it'll bring you to this registration page. Just fill it out. It's 5 multiple choice questions. If you have NinjaTrader, give us your machine ID. If you want to use charts for NinjaTrader, you should get TradingView, no matter what. Get TradingView, all right? Get TradingView, give us your TradingView login ID. All right, if you're going to take the trial, you should get TradingView. And that's it, guys. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
Excellent.
Okay, recap of the morning session.
Today, it took 82 minutes and 19 trades to get to $1,975 with 10 contracts on.
Way to hang in there.
And on the month, I can tell you the whole month. On the month, it took 206 minutes and 79 trades to get to $37,700 with 1 contract, getting the goal for the day.
Good job.
That's right. I'm not 1 contract. Sorry, 10 contracts getting the goal for the day. With 10 contracts getting the goal for the day. That's what it was for the month of January. That's how we're wrapping it up.
Nice. Very nice. All right, guys. We have covered all the markets. We'll take one last peek at the daily. Now remember, it's how we close today. See how far, when we started the broadcast, this candle was green all the way up to where now you just see a wick. And I mentioned that price was, it needed to overcome. When blue and climbing gets directly above price, so like on your way up here, we have price, step line, blue and climbing. Okay, that's the perfect stack for a move higher. But once the step line crosses, you look for a pullback to the BVC, and once blue and climbing gets directly above price, then it's probably going to become resistance. So you've seen that all in today's broadcast. When we first looked at the charts, this was green all the way up, and we talked about how it would look when we close today. Could we end up with a red body? Sure. Could we catch a rally and take out today's high? Yeah, we could. And then that would take us all the way back to last Friday's high as the next major resistance. So again, how we close at the end of the session today at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's what's really important. Okay, we got just a tiny little green body now. And you can all see this. This platform will be read-only and not support trade execution after close of business today. So, you see what's happening here on the daily? From that big green candle down to... So, something being said at that White House press conference must not be sitting well with Wall Street. Interesting. From a huge bullish green candle down to this little tiny doji. Very interesting. Anyway, to become a member, email support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, put "I want to become a member." In the body of the email, put your name, phone number. We're not going to call you, but we're going to send you an email that explains what it means to become a passport holder. And there'll be a link you can click to actually become a member. You're going to get 2 hours of live training every trading day. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have anyone to teach them how to trade. So we do that 2 hours every trading day. On top of the group training, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring, no extra charge. The strategy you learn, the indicators that you own as a passport holder, are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance. It's a never-ending cycle. As a passport holder, you'll also get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You get the concierge trade alerts the second they're published. Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. And you're able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Just send that email. We'll get you squared away today, ahead of the weekend. Make it all official. So let's wrap this week up with our good word for the day. Yesterday we talked about grace in marriage. Today, what the Bible teaches about money. Psalm 62:10. Though your riches increase, do not set your heart on them. Let's settle it once and for all. If God can trust you with something small, He will trust you with more. We find that in Luke 16:10 and 2 Corinthians 9:6. But His blessings come with certain conditions. And here are 4 you need to honor. Number 1, Don't try to claim credit. God told the Israelites in Deuteronomy 8:17, "You may say to yourself, 'My hands have produced this wealth for me.' But remember the Lord, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. If you ever forget, you will surely be destroyed." Number 2, don't forget others. The Bible commands in 1 Timothy 6:17, "Instruct those who are rich in this present world not to be conceited or to set their hope on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly supplies us with all things to enjoy." Instruct them to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. Number 3, don't become arrogant. Jeremiah admonishes us in Jeremiah 9:23, "Let not the wise boast of their wisdom, or the strong of their strength, or the rich of their riches. But let the one who boasts boast about this, that they have the understanding to know me, that I am the Lord." And number 4, don't allow anything to take God's place. "Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, 'Who is the Lord?'" That's Proverbs 30, verses 8 and 9. Remember, you don't own anything. You're just an administrator, a steward of God's estate, and an executor of His will. It's an awesome responsibility, so make sure you do a good job. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.